Got to get right back into this. It's the Opie and Anthony show. So Tom from White Plains, a friend of the show, started calling us about a year ago. Actually, more than a year ago.
Yeah.
Has this horrible disease that is slowly but surely taking his life, turning his lungs into cement. Way, way back, he told us when it gets really bad or too bad, he's going to take his own life. He'd rather go out that way instead of continuing to suffer. Mm-hmm. So last week he decided that the day has come.
Right.
Calls us up out of nowhere. We had no idea that he was going to try to kill himself. We thought it was just another phone call from Tom, like many, many others we have taken over the last year or so. He had guns loaded in front of him, more than one. It was pretty intense. Jimmy did an amazing job talking to Tom. We talked him down. And then Anthony was telling him to unload his guns, and as he was unloading his guns, a gun went off.
A round kind of left in the chamber.
And went through a wall or hit a wall or what have you. I think he has a basement apartment now, so I think it hit like cement. And then, of course, when you unload a gun, well, the authorities get involved. I heard, we'll find out in a second here, that a SWAT team was called. And they dragged Tom out of his house, his apartment, and brought him to a hospital. That was 8 or 9 days ago. And for the first time since then, we got Tom on the show. Tom!
Hi.
How are you, sir?
Hey, Tom.
How you guys doing?
Well,
cool. Good.
We want to know. We want to know how you're doing, my friend.
I'm doing much better.
Yeah?
Much better. Yes, yeah.
Now, kind of walk us through what happened after, you weren't on the air with us anymore.
Well, my sister was listening to the radio show live, so the first phone call I got after hanging up was her.
Mm-hmm.
Then, off air I spoke with Travis, and he gave me... he asked for my number to give to Dr. Steve.
Right.
Yeah, because we have a doctor that does a lot of good stuff for the radio show, and we were hoping that maybe he could do something for you.
And he called back. I spoke with him for about 15 minutes, and he said he's going to do some research and get back to me, and which I found his first email. And unfortunately, there was a deficit in palliative care.
A what?
A what? We didn't understand what you just said, Tom.
Deficit in what?
A deficit in palliative care.
Okay. What does that mean?
What's that mean, Tom?
Yeah, we're confused.
It means there's not a lot of people to take care of people with multiple illnesses.
I see.
Okay.
I made some phone calls. I made some, Jimmy and Anthony, all you guys did a great job talking to me. So I called to make some appointments that I need to have to be done. And, I'm sitting in my office area, and somebody's ringing the doorbell, pounding the door, and I'm like, I'm not expecting anybody.
Jesus.
And it's been about 2.5 hours, after the show, after your XM show.
Mm-hmm.
They were all sneaking up and around, getting rid of all the neighbors.
Oh, gee. They cleared out the neighborhood just in case any errant shots might go through some walls. And
the local news came. News 12 here in Westchester. I think it's News 12 in the metropolitan area.
You mean the college news came by?
Yeah.
or the local university. That's pretty much the same thing.
How did they know to come by, though? If the cops are doing a thing, how did they know? Had the news know to show up?
The scanner.
Yeah, they just listen to the scanners all day long.
Okay.
All right.
And so because of the pounding and the ringing of the doorbell, I thought it was like my landlord is 91 now, and I thought it was like the upstairs neighbor, found her in the driveway when she was bending over to pick up the newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
So I just ran to the door in socks, underwear.
Not a good way to confront the police.
And a T-shirt, a ratty old T-shirt at that. And I opened the door, and the screen door is already open, and there's a bunch of shields and 2 AR-15s pointed at my head. I was like, they're like, "Are you Tom?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Well, at that point, I would go, "No, I'm not Tom."
I probably would have been. Yeah, I would have been shot anyway. I put my hands up just instinctively, and they're like, "Step out."
It's a good instinct.
I'm like, no, I need to go get some shoes, and shorts. And they wouldn't let me back in.
No, they're never really good with letting you get dressed after you've shot guns.
And they cuffed me and detained me in a police car. I'm just in my underwear and T-shirt and socks, and that's how they took me to the hospital. Fortunately, they grabbed my shorts, which had my wallet and keys in it, and it was not a very pleasant situation. It was 6 days in there. 6 days.
6 days in the hospital.
Yeah, but it seemed like a year.
Was it against your will, or what happened?
It had to be the loony bin, right, Tom?
Oh, yeah, it was a psych ward, and at first it was against my will, but I signed over to voluntary because actually it gives me more rights. And
as Tom, as opposed to being committed, you mean? Like for them to commit you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I went there involuntarily, but once I got there, I signed the statement voluntary because I get more legal rights.
Sure.
So what kind of mental drugs did they put you on that makes you talk like Johnny Carson?
Yeah. Actually, Dave from New Hampshire, he's waiting to get on the air. He says, for someone who says he can't breathe, he sure is long-winded when he talks.
Oh, God. People are saying your story is making them want to commit suicide.
Well, how long? Well, hold on now. You were in there for 6 days. What did they do?
They just made sure that, I actually ran out of my antidepressant, so and I just got it back the week before when I got a new doctor, and wrote the script, so it didn't have actually time to bring up to a therapeutic level.
Okay.
So,
they just waited until there was a therapeutic dose in me.
So it kicked in, and you weren't as depressed. Did the law officers take your weapons?
They confiscated what I gave them.
All right. I think I understand.
Do you have gun charges now?
No. I'm licensed to carry.
Jesus.
And that was just considered an accidental discharge?
No. There's just something that goes slide.
Okay.
As of yet, they haven't given me any charges, but if they haven't applied them, well, I do have 120 days, but, you know, they were more concerned with all the medications that were on my desk.
Oh, really?
Nightstand. Yeah. And that wasn't even the half of them. You know, the controlled substances were in the safe with the,
oh, God.
We're in the safe.
Right.
Now, Tom, a lot of people want to know, how close were you really to killing yourself when you called us last week?
Pretty close, but I'm going to tell you, you guys always have a way of cheering me up.
That's good.
Both Jimmy was fantastic.
Oh, thanks.
And you know, usually you can be sharp-witted and, you know, make fun of things, which I heard afterwards. But, you know, that's all part of it.
Well, Tom, what was said that got to you and said, okay, I can handle this, I'm not going to do this? Was there one thing that Jimmy said where you went, you know what, I could live another day?
Actually, it was something Anthony said.
Oh, wow.
Whoa, breaking news.
Well, that's not what the newspaper said, but okay.
What did Anthony say? Because Anthony has a lot of wisdom.
No, it wasn't what he said. It's a fact that he can go out again. It means I can actually live.
What? What did Anthony say?
It wasn't more than what he said. It's the fact that, you know, he went on living his life.
Anthony?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, with Antholini.
Are you telling me, Tom, wait, please.
Oh, my God.
Don't tell me.
Look at this. See, now this is breaking news.
Oh,
Antholini was your inspiration to live?
Of course it was.
Yes. Yeah.
That's just the opposite effect on me and Opie.
well,
yeah, can we have your guns, Tom? If
that
you're not
is
using
fantastic.
them?
I love it.
At this point, I think we could use one or two.
Oh, Tom, you're an inspiration to us all.
Are you saying that Antholini saved your life?
That was a part of it. I mean, it was a whole combination of things. But Anthony goes, you know, people have been through a lot, you know, a lot worse.
Right.
And you know, I just remembered his glorious marriage.
Yeah, see?
And the fact that, you know, here he is, you know, getting pretty serious with a woman again. And not just like,
look at the we're saving lives. That newspaper, I got to tell you, got everything wrong.
They did not.
Did.
Here's Tom.
They
Hold on.
did.
They
not.
did. Even Tom is saying they did.
The paper's never wrong.
Here's what happened with Tom. He was going to do it. He was very depressed. Talking to us was fine. He got a picture of Jill in a low-cut shirt, and he said, "That's worth living for." That's what happened. It wasn't you. It was her. It was her in a low-cut shirt.
Her bosom.
Of course.
Tom is basically saying you could turn your life around. As miserable as you are, it could always get better, like it did for Anthony. Right, Tom? Am I summarizing?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
great.
Well, how you feeling, Tom?
What's that?
How are you, man? How you feeling?
You sound better.
Better. Yeah. You know, I was in air conditioning for a week.
I was for many years. Oh, the business. I thought you meant the business.
Yeah, that's pretty cruel in your state that they made you go into air conditioning for a week.
Wait, dude, you don't have air conditioning?
What are you crawling around in hot attics and stuff this time of year in your condition, Tom?
Yeah.
Are you doing duct work for the hospital? What's going on?
You don't have air conditioning in your house?
No, I do. I turned it on. I turned it on not the first day of the heat wave because I'm on the ground floor. There's a sub-basement below me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm above ground, but it's all concrete.
Yeah.
Block behind the sheetrock and insulation.
Yeah, made a nice little bong sound.
Sure.
Wait, does he have air conditioning or no?
Yeah, he says
yes,
he does.
I do.
But I guess the air conditioning in the hospital was much better?
It was on icicles.
Oh, nice.
It was nice and cold. Now, Tom, what's your prognosis? What are they telling you? Did they tell you anything at the hospital? Did Dr. Steve give you any hope? Where are we at?
It took the doctors 48 hours to get my pain medications up. And so the first 2 days was just miserable.
Mm.
And let's see, a little putty patched the hole.
A little putty patched the hole, okay.
Right, from the gun going off.
Little putty.
Yeah, actually, the police left my place a mess. Everything was tossed off all around. They covered the hole themselves, so they couldn't find it by tossing stuff in front of it. So they couldn't technically tell if I discharged the gun or not.
Cuts down on the paperwork. Wow, man.
Well, there's your update, Tom.
So
you sound really good.
Yeah, you sound much better.
You sound better than you have in quite a long time.
Well, yeah.
Hey, Tom, do you go to therapy or anything? Sorry to interrupt you, man. Do you go to therapy?
Well, I'm supposed to now.
Yeah, you should, man. It helps.
Yeah. Actually, I did years ago. I used to go to a pain management group. But I don't want to go into that. Yeah, and there's a discharge order, so I'm supposed to see a psychiatrist and a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
But I was looking for one anyway. But everyone I called was I'm not seeing patients now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
So, Tom, you're not gonna kill yourself anytime soon, right? People need to know that.
No. I'm not planning on it.
And you got a lot of people out there concerned about you. The websites have been talking about you like crazy lately, and I think they're trying to figure out what they could do for you.
That's very, very nice. Actually, what really touched me is when I was in the hospital, my landlord called up. She's 91 years old. Found out the hospital's the payphone number because they don't let you call the desk and get at you.
Mm-hmm.
Just to see how I was doing.
That's nice of her.
It was just like I said, when I came home yesterday, she took me up to her apartment and was like, oh, I'm so happy you're home. I was so worried. And that's kind of touching for a landlord to be that way.
Do you kind of, when you feel like you're feeling that depressed, do you kind of in one way, like you're really depressed, and we felt you were sincere, and is there a part of you that's kind of just, you want to kind of know that people care about you? Like sometimes you just kind of want to be, like you kind of call up because you want to know that your friends are somehow concerned with you on some level.
I'm not even thinking about that. Actually it was afterwards where people were like, look, you really hurt me, why didn't you call me? Why didn't you call me? And stuff, that's what I got for most people.
Yeah, you didn't call me, Tony. You didn't call me. Look, I was going to call you. I swear.
Yeah. I'm one of those guys. I think suicide affects the people you leave behind.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a selfish act.
Who doesn't think that, though?
Well,
yeah, right. It affects the guy. Look at him. He's dead.
Good point. Good point. Good point. Yes, Tom.
But
yes.
When I first called, you were like, "Yeah, quality of care, quality of health,
quality of life, yeah,
thing. Quality of life thing was a big thing."
Mm-hmm.
And my first phone call was last July when the tow truck, like a week after the tow truck incident.
What was the tow truck?
What was the tow truck incident?
When the steam pipe ruptured underneath the tow truck.
Oh, my God. Horrific story here in New York, sure.
Yeah.
Pipe burst, and I believe it killed one guy and burned another one pretty badly.
Yeah.
And they were just sitting at a red light, on just an average summer day here in New York.
Yeah. But thank you guys. Appreciate everything and the offers and the connection to Dr. Steve.
Dr. Steve's a good guy.
I'll call. When I listen to the XM side, I'll call in.
Okay.
All right.
And talk to, and just say hi to him. And thank you.
Well, we're glad you're all right, man.
Yeah, the instant feedback is pretty crazy. Everyone's asking, what is next for Tom from White Plains?
Nationals in Hawaii. Oh, no, you hung up on him. Oh, God. That'll put him over the edge. Yeah, why didn't the paper write about that? And then Opie hung up on him in mid-sentence.
Well, welcome back.
Yeah.
No, he's. I couldn't.
You do. Okay.
I have to take you inside the show for a second here. I couldn't do it.
Oh, okay.
I put him on hold.
I was gonna say,
I couldn't
Jesus.
do that.
Yeah.
I just wanted everyone to open their mouths real wide and look at the radio, but I couldn't do that one. No, Tom, what's next for you? A lot of people do want to know.
Well, I guess it's wait and see. I don't know. Well, I've got to finish what I was working on after the show.
I thought you said finish what you were working on last Thursday.
No. After that, and after talking to you, I was going to come down to XM on Friday morning.
Yeah, we'd love to have you in studio. So, Tom, you're one of the family. You know that.
Well, thank you.
You got to keep yourself together. I think we're going to try to do something for you. We don't know what exactly yet, but we're certainly going to get involved. And I know the fans want to get involved a little bit, too.
Well, that's quite nice, but not necessary. But the offer is very nice.
Tom, take the free stuff.
Okay.
Take it from your pal. Just take the free stuff. They might get you a better air conditioning unit. They might get you some food. They might get you better guns. Who knows? These creeps out there, they'll do anything for you. All right, Tom, keep in touch, okay? You sound great.
Okay, thanks, guys.
And if you need anything, I don't know, knock on your landlord's door upstairs. What can I tell you? We got to entertain America here.
Well, do that. Thank you. Have a